Okay, so the course that we do is the AQA course, and it's a 2-year course, and you will do external exams at the end of year 13 when you do the French A-level here. So let's go through the content for the AS, which is the year 12 content. So there are 6 topics that you cover in year 12, and here they are. So we've got the first one, which is La famille en voie de changement, so changing families in France and French-speaking countries. We've got La cybersociété, which is about technology and cyber society, and Le rôle du bénévolat, which is the role of charity work. And then another 3, we've got Le patrimoine, which is about cultural heritage in France. There's La musique moderne, modern-day music in France and French-speaking countries, and then Le cinéma is about cinema. So those are the 6 topics that you will cover in year 12. You'll see that they're similar to the GCSE topics. A lot of those topics you will have looked at already, but instead of being just descriptive, where you describe your family and you describe what music you like, they're more related to the culture of French-speaking countries, and they're more evaluative. So you learn to discuss more really at A-level. So those are the 6 topics that you will do in year 12. Right, added to those 6 topics, you will also do your first cultural topic in year 12, which is either a film or a book. There's a list of films and books that the exam board provide. So you'll study one of those in year 12. We normally do a film in year 12 and the book in year 13. In year 12, your essay should be about 250 words, and in year 13, it goes up to 300 words. So we're not asking you to write a dissertation. It's a fairly short essay that you'll do, and you will get lots of support when you start doing that. So the one we've been doing recently is this film here called Au revoir les enfants, which is about the war when France was occupied in the Second World War, but the film is the war viewed through the eyes of these children, and people find that quite moving. So you'll do one of those in year 12, a cultural topic that will lead to an essay. Another important thing that you'll do in year 12 is grammar. So for the first term, you will study French grammar quite formally and in quite a lot of depth, more so than you would have done for GCSE. You'll need to work hard to learn this so that you can manipulate the language better and start actually being able to speak much more spontaneously than you would have done for GCSE. And the way to do that is through learning the mechanics of the language so that you can speak and write it more freely. So that's a big factor in the first term in year 12. So the year 12 exam, so there's no external exam at the end of year 12. We will get you to do AS past paper as a mock exam. That's so that you can see your progress and we can see your progress, and that involves the 6 topics plus the cultural topic that you'll have done, and there'll be a mixture of listening, reading, translating and speaking and writing a cultural topic essay. So that's year 12. So we move on to year 13, the content of the second year of the course, and we find you've got another 6 topics to add on to the 6 you did in year 12. So we've got La société diverse, diverse society, Les marginalisés, people who are marginalised in society, Comment on traite les criminels, so how criminals are treated, and then the more political topics are Les ados et la politique, so adolescence and politics, Les manifestations et les grèves, which is about demonstrations and strikes. And the last topic is La politique et l'immigration, which is politics and immigration. So the topics that you move on to in year 13 are a bit different from the ones you did for GCSE, and they're a bit more leaning towards current events and current affairs that are going on in French-speaking countries. In year 13, you'll also do your second cultural topic. So the same choice as from year 12. So if you did a film in year 12, then you will do a book in year 13. You're allowed to study 2 books, but you're not allowed to study 2 films. And so now you'll be writing 2 essays, one on the film that you did in year 12 and one on the book from year 13. The grammar in year 13, there's not much to add on really. So the specific list is much shorter than the grammar that you did at your AS, just because you'll have done it really already at AS, but that still means that you need to keep going over it and making sure you can use it and know it. So there's much less grammar or new grammar in the year 13 course. So the A-level exam is the external exam that you do at the end of the 2 years, and that is 3 papers. So the exam's marked out of 400 marks, which are converted to your grade. So paper 1 is quite a big exam. It's 200 of your 400 marks, so 50% of it, and it's a language exam, so listening, reading and translating in and out of French. The listening you do with headphones, so it's slightly different to the GCSE listening. You're more in control of it yourself, but we practice that all through the course. All the listening that you do in lessons will be done in that way. So that's paper 1. Paper 2 is your 2 cultural topics. So an essay on the book and an essay on the film, and you'll get a choice of 2 for each of them. And then paper 3 is the speaking exam that you do usually around May time in year 13, and you have to respond to a stimulus card, and there's an example of one over here. Again, it will be on one of the 12 topics that you've studied, and you answer questions that you can see on the card. You talk about the information that's on the card, and you talk generally about that particular topic. The conversation gets a bit broader after you've answered the questions on the card. And the second thing you do in your speaking exam is called the Individual Research Project, the IRP, which is a topic that you choose to research in advance. So you'll have plenty of time to look into that and practice that, so you'll know what that's going to be before you go into your exam. You do a 2-minute presentation that you will have learnt on that topic that you've researched, and then that follows on with a 9 to 10 minute discussion on your individual research project, and you're allowed to take a few notes and a few subheadings with you as to how you'd like that conversation to go. So that's the A-level exam. The course that we use is called Caboodle, and it's an online course. So you get a digital copy of the textbook, which is really good because, as I've shown you a bit over here, you can actually click on it and it will talk to you. So it's a speaking textbook, which is very useful for French. There's lots of other resources on Caboodle as well that you can use, lots of interactive resources that you can see down here. And we've also got extra assessments as well as the past papers. So it's a really interactive course that you can use not only in lessons, but in your own time as well, to help you really get to grips with the A-level content. You can pick subjects, like you can go in resources and just decide, right, I want to study grammar, and you can pick out all the grammar, so you can pick it out as skills as well as topics. So why take French A-level? You'll get to learn the mechanics of the language through the grammar, and then you'll really be able to speak spontaneously if you carry on for another 2 years at A-level. And that's a skill that you can take, as well as being an A-level qualification. Being able to speak another language is a skill that you can use to sell yourself to an employer, that you can use in the workplace. The MFL A-levels are respected by the top universities. There's a low take-up nationally for MFL A-levels, so that means you'll be one of the people who will stand out, who's got that rare skill. And you'll really get a different version of the culture, the French culture, and be able to understand more about it than you could if you didn't speak the language. It really gets you into the culture and helps you to understand it. So taking a language at A-level, it gives you the opportunity to study further languages at university. So we've had quite a lot of students who've gone on from this school to not only study French, but study other languages like Russian or Chinese. So it opens the doorway for you to be able to study other languages at university that we don't offer here. And last but not least, you'll be able to meet people from French-speaking countries and have fun and communicate. So that's French A-level in a nutshell. If there's any more questions, if you have any more questions, you can ask anybody in the Modern Languages department, who will be only too pleased to help you. And we look forward to seeing you soon.